Going to do a little walkthrough for my home gym. This is the entrance at the bottom of the steps, and you come into it over here. First thing we have is the power rack, Black Widow power rack with a couple accessories that I'll go over. First we have all the weights that I use. Primarily will do any rack work with my Avancos. Over time I have added some other weights. York vintage 80s set. I have a blue set in there, also from the 80s. Buried deep on each one of those are the black ones are my deep dish unbranded Avancos. And everything's mixed in. Each peg has its own weight denomination. My Mech 6 monoliths, great addition, probably one of the best purchases that I've had as far as a rack accessory goes. These are new additions, my swing and safeties, just installed them about 5 minutes ago, have yet to use them yet. Gonna give them a try tonight. That is a Cybex bench that was in pretty beat shape that I picked up on the cheap, used, reupholstered it, gave it a paint job. It's in pretty good shape now. A chalk bowl over there in the corner. Some bands. Got my motivational pictures hanging up. Swinging around to the back side. Have a full dumbbell set, well, somewhat full. They go from 2.5 up to 75 pounds. They are the Hex rubber Hamptons. I originally had a set 2.5 through 50, and that was on a vertical dumbbell rack. You probably saw it in the beginning of the video as I walked into the entrance. Then I added the 55s through 75s later. Hammer strength, adjustable, flat incline bench, thing's solid. Over here on the weight tree is my kilogram collection. I got my York bumpers, got a pair of 25 kilos. Then I have 3 pairs of the 20 kilos, along with a couple 10s over here. Got the 1.25s on the tree. Got the 2.5s down low. Old York vintage collars, which are probably in pounds, probably 5 pounds each. Maybe they're 2.5 kilos. I don't think we have to really worry about that difference too much. Standing on in the back corner here, get a shot of the power cage. Okay. The flooring is 3/4 inch horse stall mats from Tractor Supply on top of 2 layers of 1/2 inch plywood, Rogue jack stand. Mirrors all over the place, makes the space look bigger. It's not so much that I like the look of the mirrors, but it's a small space, so it kind of opens things up a bit. I have my Bluetooth speaker down there so I can listen to my Pandora when I'm working out. Over on this wall, my maroon wall, I have my 6 bar gun rack from MD USA, Muscle Driver USA. I got that this past Christmas. And we have a couple bars on here from the top to the bottom. We have a 80s vintage York Olympic bar. Next one down is a 1979 York Olympic bar. They're very similar. The second one, the first one is probably 80s because you can see the stamp and it has the roll pin in the back. The next one down, there's no stamp on the collars and the sleeves. And that one's actually held in by a hex set screw. Next one down is a commercial grade power bar that I have yet to identify. It's a 28.5 millimeter power bar, pretty aggressive knurl on it. I have not been able to identify that bar, but it is pretty quality, so I hung on to it. This one is a CrossFit call it a CrossFit Olympic bar. And then down at the bottom is my primary bar, which is the Canadian-made York B&R bar, 29mm power bar with both Olympic and IWF markings on it. I primarily use that in the rack. It's my go-to squat and bench bar. And some of the thinner ones, the 28mm, the York vintage bars, I'll use for any pulls from the floor, deadlifts, rows, and such. Little plastic clock that resembles a 25-pound plate. This is kind of my crown jewel of the collection. They stay on the wall there for display. These are some old vintage York plates that I got a hold of. Old deep dish wide hub plates. They're probably second generation York. A couple 25-pound plates that was made in a short run production around the 1952, 54 Olympics, whichever ones those were. Not too many of them out there, so they go on there too. And these are all the unmarked change plates. Every one of these is unmarked except this first 2.5 pounder that I have. That was kind of just to complete the uniformity of the 2 pegs, but I really only have the one here. But every one behind the 5 pounders and the 10 pounders are all unmarked. Here's another York vintage bar. This one is a little bit unique. Again, I can't date it, but it's got these wider sleeves than the typical 70s and 80s bars that we have. It is held on by donuts that are held on by the hex set screw. And that is the bulk of my collection. If you have any questions, I will post this video on YouTube and you could ask a question. I'll do my best to answer it.